Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Wisdom Cafe Live. This is episode 16, and we have a very special guest. But before I get to him, I'm going to introduce myself as Bob Choat. Yes, I am Bob Choat, the Transformational Grandmaster, with my beautiful co-host, Sofie Nubani, the Queen of Laughter and Wisdom. Sofie, how's it going there on the East Coast? I think where our guest is located too. Or East
Yes,
Coast, East Coast. I
we're
don't know.
East Coasters here, right?
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
It's good actually. We had a little rain earlier in the day, and it was beautiful in the morning and the very brisk of the morning. I
Mm-hmm.
was looking outside, and it was so peaceful, after the rain, and you could see everything so clean and nice.
Aw,
And then later in the afternoon, I go by my pool, and it's like a lot of sun, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool.
it is cool. It is
Yes.
cool.
Yes, so all is well, all is well. How is it in California?
Well, today was a little warm. It's like 90 degrees, sunny, bright and sunny. I got to get out into that sun a little bit and
Some
then did a
vitamin
little,
D.
got some vitamin D, got a good workout in and just enjoying the moments and the fresher air. Now, having said that, in Los Angeles, because of the heat, uh, the air does tend to get worse. So we're gonna have to deal with it through the summer again, even though we have less drivers going on and less of that kind of stuff. But it's been pretty awesome. So I got to get out and enjoy a few things and yeah, just
Nice.
one of those days.
Nice.
I can't wait to hike again though. I wish they, get our trails opened up so I can go up and just do these mountain
I
hikes and
know you
stuff.
love to hike, and it's a very good hobby, right?
Yes, it is. It is
And our
challenging
guest
yourself.
loves to cycle.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually no shortage of that.
Yeah, oh,
Yes,
nice. Because, yeah, we're lucky here in
Hmm.
Florida.
yes. And our guest, Ian Farrar, is a champion cyclist. We introduced him last year on our
Yes.
show and really got into that arena in terms of the mindset of being a cyclist. We also want to discuss and where his passion is now, and that's in that of a home-based business. So
Perfect
a,
timing, right?
he's
It's
been a
perfect.
home-based entrepreneur, building up his business and organization and such, and helping to make a difference, especially in the area of health as well as fitness, in terms of doing what he's doing. And he's been passionate for many years, even when he was out there winning his cycling championships and those kind of things. He still was focused on his business, bring it at home, and his wife and I mean his whole family's involved in this as well as everybody that surrounds him. He's been able to make a massive difference to so many people's lives in helping them go through the struggles, especially dealing with finances and much more on top of, like I said earlier, the health. And Ian, we're going to get into discussing what it takes to become a home-based entrepreneur. And in today's world, we need it more than ever. We need it more because people are struggling. There's been a big shift. We know what that shift is. We know that what has happened with this crisis, it actually exposed a lot in terms of the major corporations out there. And what really hasn't been working for a lot of years, we became complacent. This shift happened, and it probably happened for a reason besides the virus thing. Because again, this opened up a large chasm, and that chasm has created an opportunity for each and every one of us to take advantage of. So, Ian, I want to thank you for being here and helping to fill in that chasm, to help to make that difference and and give your insights and much more in terms of what you've been able to do, how you help countless others, and every step that's necessary to be able to get to that. So thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Yes, and I
things are
want to
great.
thank you too. I mean,
Yeah,
and welcome back to our
Welcome
show.
back.
thank you.
It is your second time.
Yes, it is.
And I'm sure we will have you again in the future. And that's because you're a true expert. You are very consistent and focused, and you really think on a holistic level. And that's why, we're always happy to have you share your knowledge and wisdom with our audience, because um, it is it is of that quality and ethics that we can really prosper in a healthy way that is more sustainable, and looking at the betterment of all when we are looking into growing ourselves and being successful. And that's something you demonstrate as a team leader, as an entrepreneur, and more. And I also love the diversity that you have, and I see a lot of your travel pics the last year, and somewhere like I'm like, wow, Ian, look at you, you're rocking this whole planet, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And it was so beautiful, and your wife, I mean, it was just so nice to see that. You lead by a beautiful example, from a family unit to career to personal, and to friendship as well.
Mhm.
And that is really what we are so blessed and honored to share with our audience and listeners and viewers, so they would aspire to become of those qualities. And so thank you for being here with us tonight. And thank you for shining your bright light to the world in time of crisis, bringing in sustainable solutions, because you have proved prior to crisis that they were sustainable. And I think right now there are more people who are even desperate to find solutions, but they just don't have ideas or know how to. So your presence with us today is going to bless a lot of people, I'm sure. So thank you, Ian, again.
Yes.
Great.
And before we get started, because we are streaming live also on YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe down below. So thank you.
Yeah, subscribe, like, and subscribe, and share,
Yes.
and share.
And share. So Ian, go ahead and we want to find
Great.
out more.
I'm ready to get into it. First of all, thank you, Bob. Thank you for Sofie for having me tonight. My first interview with you guys was awesome. And, a lot has changed, but what hasn't changed is my modus operandi in my mind. Okay. I'm always engaged with empowering people to see their potential. Now, 30 million fellow Americans have lost their jobs in a span of 6+ weeks, just like that, poof. So people that were relying on job security, they really don't have any security. So we're in a new economy. There's been a substantial shift, and there's been the creation of the problem. The population's reacting, and people are looking for solutions. And I have a tremendous solution for people, which is monetizing what they're already doing. They're already buying food. I happen to be involved with a company that's a superfood nutrition company, and we're actually an FDA registered agricultural supplier of food. We're an essential business in the state of California, so we haven't shut down. And I feel really great that people could look to a company like Purium Health Products to really get the nutrient-dense calories that they need in times like this. So
yeah, and even with with having not some of the products are not available, and then when you're at least supplementing it with something that is not going to make you deficient, it's very important to be able to transition to your regular life and your daily routine. Your immune system has to be really good and strong, because that's very, very fragile at this time, especially when we're having a pandemic like we are today.
Absolutely. And what I'm seeing right now is a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety, which lowers your immune system. We're energetic beings, and if you're living in fear and you're living in anxiety, you're going to have a much weaker immune system. So we have a number of packs for people that will give them the nutrient dense foods in order to really be healthy, but also support the immune system when and if someone comes in contact, with the COVID-19 or just gets, immunocompromised in general. So, it's always been my passion to really help people wake up to their potential with their health, but now it's even more important.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad that you're bringing this up because people are looking for opportunities and they're looking for like legitimate opportunities. There's a lot
Yeah.
of scams out there, and there's a lot of businesses that are built just to make money, and their hype of the excitement of the product is on the money part, not on the quality of the product. And people get so drawn and sucked into it and engaged because now they have a team and they're excited. Oh, I got a sale, I did this, I did that, but not realizing that the product itself that they are serving, the ambassadors of what they are becoming for, is not having the potency or the quality that people really need to have for them to be able to feel that they're serving from their heart. And we do love what you do, and we like your company as well. And for those people who maybe lost their jobs and or having maybe loved ones or elderly people that might have compromised immune systems, um, what is a good way to transition? Because remember, it's a mindset too. So people are so by default working jobs 9 to 5, right? And then now they're all of a sudden they have to really run their own business somehow and market and then reach out. How would you advise those people to have a start? Where can they start from? Put it that way.
Okay, this is going to be a two-step process. First and foremost, you can't ask someone to transition from an employee mindset over to a business owner mindset. Okay, because most people in this country are trained to be employees. Okay, it wasn't that way all the time. I mean, the United States, the industrialists, we were a very entrepreneurial society, and then things dramatically changed after World War II. And as we got more into now, it's been go to school, get good grades, and go get a secure job. Well, guess what? That's not a really good path. Pick up a book by Robert Kiyosaki called, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You'll understand the concept.
Yes.
Pick up a book that he wrote called Business of the 21st Century, about, the distribution model called network marketing. It's really a network of people empowering people. And I happen to be the founding brand partner with my company. I've been with the company close to 20 years, 17 this year. And we're really empowering people to get on a healthier lifestyle path, but also make an income, okay? But making an impact, making an income. I did a Facebook Live a few months ago about making an impact. If you make an impact, you can make as much money as you want to make, just as long as you're helping other people get what they want, hands down. And right now, you could make a tremendous impact. I mean, for less than $200, people could get into my business. They're going to get me as a full-time mentor and coach. And if they're coachable and they follow the steps and we help other people, I could help them start making additional income next week. But it really begins with the products, Sofie. Like you were saying, it's not about I'm just wheeling and dealing an opportunity. There's a tremendous opportunity, but one needs to be product centered. One really needs to feel the organic aspects of our products. They really have to feel, a difference in order to really share with other people. So there's an unlimited amount of people to share with. People are looking for more income. They're looking for more health. So that's the new green economy.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the product part of it. So there is awareness on that, and what makes it so different, and why, and how it's going to benefit people to actually, take action towards that.
Okay, and I didn't hear the beginning of your question when you said about the products.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's my favorite part, because if you have amazing products, you have an amazing business. Okay, the products are actually the compensation plan, in my opinion. And Purium happens to be a certified organic manufacturer of some pretty amazing superfoods. What separates us from most companies is that we're free of any excipients, binders, fillers, isolates, any GMO genetically modified ingredients. We're glyphosate free. We're a certified organic manufacturer. And there's no gotchas in the products. I mean, these are real whole foods that really support one's overall body performance, and it really elevates you. I mean, this is actually, it's easy. We could even, these are even prepper foods. So if there was a serious disruption in the food supply, okay, and you couldn't buy food, you could live on our power shake. You could live on our super meal. You could actually live on these products.
So your products are good for such crises and hurricanes too.
Right.
All the unexpected.
Yeah, it's prepper food. I mean, we order a lot of the products, because of course it's just my wife and I now, and we have her son every other week, and we use a lot of the products. But it's always be getting the nutrients. And when this crisis hit, I knew in my mind that we're always going to be nourished. We're not going to be without the right calories, okay? And it's nutrient-dense calories that the human body needs, because you're guaranteed to get your carbohydrate, fat, and protein from somewhere, okay? And your body will live and sustain itself, but then you're going to have a lot of deficiency issues. So our products are based in the whole food realm, which is really, really powerful.
Now, if somebody's watching this and they're in Australia, I'm just giving an example. Is this mainly in the United States, or is it global right now? Or
The two big markets that we're in are North America and the EU. We're not in the Pacific Ring countries, but if people, want to receive a $50 gift card, because that's how we offer, a first-time buyer with our products, that could be used. That could be used in Canada, the United States, and all of the EU countries.
So the good news for the United States, who's watching and live in the United States, is because a lot of people are concerned about the suppliers, meaning not having the travel and the commute and the people driving to get it and the planes to arrive and all that, the import and export part of it. So that part, at least a lot of the people here, and if they're watching in the US, and like you mentioned, if they do run out of, a food supply, that is a very safe way to still maintain your supplement and your nutrients, and also not worry about what if they're out of it because nobody can deliver. But in this case, you are a local, you are here and as well as other places. But for those who's watching here, and a lot of our audience are here when we look at our, status on the live shows. And so that's good to know.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want everyone to know that, I'm super available to really help people on whatever health, level that they want to attain, or if they have a health challenge, not channel. We're on health channel now.
Listen, you're so optimistic. You're having your own health channel. And you're
I know.
There you go.
Dr. A, what can we do? What do we need?
Yeah. But for me, it's you asked me, prior to starting, Bob, that what's been your greatest challenge? And I'm not really having any challenge. I mean, everyone's going through a psychological shift, change. I've always, I work from home. Okay. I mean, I like the fact that I'm actually, my wife and I have been, I'm cleaning the dishes, but the organic meals that she's been making, lunch and dinner, have been like off the hook. I mean, we eat very, very well, but we go out to like our organic places here in the Lake Mary, Orlando area, and we get lazy and we go out to eat, which is totally cool. But I'm seeing an amazing, vegan chef be born, and I like it.
Nice.
Well, which is interesting
because on that one, because I was only able to find very few that I end up going to all the time.
Right.
But it's nice to know more options always that are recommended if you try them.
Yeah, home's a great option. Just as long as the husband does the dishes, we got a deal.
There you go. So which is interesting, because you talk about like having amazing meals, because there's somebody here that has learned how to cook really, really well, that had stressed over cooking, and now that person enjoys cooking and makes even better meals than the local restaurants.
I'm telling you, and I'm not joking. I mean, she's actually in the room. She's going in another room right now. But
Oh, so his wife. So we actually have two. Then
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
the creativity around like, okay, what am I gonna?
creativity.
And
Yeah.
she made falafel. She made falafel from scratch,
Ah,
and I was
That is
like,
awesome.
game
And
on.
it's such a
Yeah.
joy, right? Look at
it is.
Ian smiling, just
Yeah.
talking about it. We can see how delicious the food is as he's expressing his gratitude.
No, it's great. It's great. And the thing is, my her personal home-based business is exploding right now. I mean, yes, last month we saw a major bump in the prepping ordering. This month is still really strong, and I'm happy that people are calming down because they were actually stressing the distribution. The company, they had to get 2 or 3 overnight shifts to keep our C from Nature, which is our whole food plant-based vitamin C in stock, because it's part of our new optimal immune pack that has that in it. And I'm happy that calmed down, because that was really stressing out the distribution chain of as we made it, it sold out. As we made it, because we're a manufacturer.
Demand. It's needed.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It's solving a problem.
Right.
So Ian, I want to ask you. Let's go back to when you first started as a home-based business entrepreneur. Going back to that time, because you had to make a shift in your mindset at that time, like a lot of people are doing right now. What was that initial shift that you had to go through, and how were you able to sustain it?
I knew right off the bat that I didn't want to work for somebody else, because that was going to limit my potential for income and owning my time. So I started to study entrepreneurship. I started to study what type of businesses I could get into. And I learned about network marketing from a friend of mine at a competition I was at. And I made a comment like most people make, oh, is it like Amway? Well, Amway today does over $12 billion a year in revenue. And, the Orlando Magic here in Orlando, the Amway Center off I-4, it's a huge building. They own it. And it's a very successful company. So if people ridicule Amway, there's just a lot of ignorance. So back to your question, I had to study who I needed to become in order to have the income. So it's the be, do, have equation. You needed to work on the be in order to do, and then the have is taking care of itself. So right now I'm into the having, and I'm not saying having a lavish lifestyle, having nice cars, having nice things. You know what I have? Called time freedom and a residual income that I make even while I sleep.
Good.
Okay.
Yes.
Most people their income is only as good as the last week worked and the last hour that time clock is checked. So if people are looking for a super quality home-based business for relatively low startup capital, and you're going to get a full-time coach for free, the only thing I ask is someone put in 51%, and I'll give you my 50, and I'll help you grow as a person, and I'll help you grow a business.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Because people need to feel the encouragement and also the safety net while they are going through a new change in their lives with an expert that has been successful, proven over and over and over the years, and still able to maintain his success and learn from them the steps, and this way it's going to be easier.
Without a doubt. I'm just going to plug in the computer here. There we go.
Yes, definitely do that. You don't want it to die.
No.
I know, like with myself, because I've been a serial entrepreneur for ever since I left my job, which was the LAPD many years ago. Which I was surprised that you didn't know. So I didn't tell you about those days.
Cool.
Yeah. So it does take a different kind of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like with myself, trying to find out where I fit and everything like that, from doing more the one-on-one kind of stuff, like teaching self-defense and and so forth, and having an import-export company and advertising and marketing firm where I was able to grow to multiple employees and everything like that, to other types of business ventures to now. And having that mindset, right, again, it'll grow. And you mentioned a couple of books to read. And are there any other types of learnings that people should engage in that you came across?
Yeah, I mean, the first one that I mentioned is Rich Dad Poor Dad. You know, you want to learn, you know, where you are in our economy today and where you shouldn't want to be. Okay, because it's not really all there is. Okay, you go to school, you get good grades, and you go get a secure job. Most people, if some people love their job, fantastic. If you love what you do, congratulations. But you're going to have more security in today's world by working for yourself than for somebody else. So that's a foundational book. And then reading, the book I mentioned as well, The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm actually giving him some major plugs here. I hope his book sales go up even higher than they are. But and then read some of the masterpieces like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I mean, that's a book that I read over 5 times. And, there's a lot of really, really deep psychological benefits to reading that book, because he studied what creates success in men and women. And then another book is As a Man Thinketh. And there's a book for women too, because As a Woman Thinketh, because as you think, so you shall become. And I passed this on to my son this summer, and he's crazy into personal development, a lot more than I ever was at, 20 plus years of age. And that's where you win. I mean, you really win, the 6 inches between your 2 ears. You don't win from outside. Yeah, you could win lotto, but you could blow it in a year and be poor again.
Yeah, that's true.
How about people who love their jobs, like you mentioned, and then we face something like this, and then be like, God, I wish I had a side income that I could work from. Are people able to do that also through your business, where they can be more like, is it have to be a full-time engagement for those, or can they transition in a part-time while they're doing what they're doing, if they have something that they're doing and is successful, and then they want to add a side kick to that? Or is it something that would require them to be fully engaged 100% time-wise?
If you work seriously 1 hour a day or a week, you could earn an additional income pretty quickly by working smart, not working harder. Okay, it's I've met people that have a job and they have a part-time job. Why don't you start a part-time business? You're immediately going to get a break from the IRS, being an independent contractor versus getting another W-2 job. So it's financially literate to start a home-based business versus getting a part-time job. But for the person that was a full-time employee, there are a lot of people that have a full-time job and they start a part-time business in our business. So, helping them earn an additional $500 a month or $6,000 a year, and it becomes residual. Where are you going to get that from the bank, given interest rates? You can't. So, becoming your own best customer and helping other people is a great way to, build an income and build a business.
Which is interesting, you mentioned banks, because right now the great majority of banks give, for a savings account, if you put your money in a savings account, you're going to get that much interest rates, 0 interest rates, which is very interesting.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but I'm not going to get into the economics of things, but they're printing trillions of dollars, okay, and that's going to be painful long term. So people really got to be smart with how you save, and if you save in cash, it will become trash. Okay, Kiyosaki says it. Okay, in 1971, when Nixon took us off the gold standard, we became a debt-based system. So it's really smart to invest wisely. I'm not going to go into where, but things that have tangible value and not stocks and bonds and paper assets.
Now, I want to go back to working smarter,
Okay.
because one of the things Tim Ferriss wrote a book years ago called the 4-Hour Work Week,
Mm-hmm.
and in it he talks specifics about working in essence smarter, because the truth is the average person, especially the average employee, they may say that they work like, let's say, 8 hours or even 10 hours a day. And it's like training in fitness. Most people that work, or most people that go to the gym, they don't really work that much. They don't train that much. And what is the aspect of staying like focused? Because you've been a cyclist and you also had to train really hard to get good, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was focus right at the moment important for both training as a cyclist and also running a home-based business?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of parallels there. I mean, it's definitely repetition is the mother of skill. Okay, you pedal a lot, you spend the right amount of time and train properly, you're going to get fitter and faster and stronger. Same thing in this business. You know, I mean, consistency wins the race, and a long-term vision. There's people that are coming into our business right now, and enrolling in the business is the easy part, but it's what you do when it's cold out, it's raining, and I go out and train anyway because I can, because there's other people that aren't training, and I know that I could go out there because I'm mentally strong enough to have the fortitude to continue to move forward. It's no different in a home-based business.
Yes.
I mean, you literally have an opportunity to make as much money as you want to make by leveraging the hours of others, but helping people in the process. And when it comes to training, you know, I'll do whatever it takes to get fit and fast. I mean, you got to be smart in the last lap or two of a race. I mean, I happen to think that I'm pretty good, you know, being at the right place at the right time. But, you know, you got to just be disciplined, and you find your freedom within your discipline. If you're not disciplined, you're not going to be free with the training and the results that you want in your sport. You're not going to be free when it comes to the income that you want to make, because if you're working a salaried job, you're getting paid twice a month, and there's no room for increase in income. So most people they can't psychologically understand that, wow, this is an opportunity that cost me under $200 or under $400 based on the pack that you get started with our company, and I can make an unlimited income. I said, yeah, that's true, but what are you willing to sacrifice? You know, what are you willing, you know, it's all about sacrifice. You know, it's like what your why is, you know?
Yep.
So discipline and where you know, prioritize your attention on, along with focus. And I know that, Anne, you had to have a core value of freedom in one of your principles, because people who really value freedom a lot are the ones who really, like when you said, I don't want to work for anybody because of my time and my freedom. It's so true, because what is their motivation? Like, what is their bigger picture? And while they're doing this bigger picture, and it could be any end result, but how nice it is to be an end result while you're helping others also be healthier. So it makes you even feel more content with your journey and fulfilled, because you feel you are really impacting others in a positive way, not just in a financial success, which is good and important, obviously, for your time compensation and your focus and your discipline. But also, it just aligns better when you're able to have that in the end results be of good. Then it makes you feel even better about it, and maybe you start getting more disciplined about it too because of that.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wait a minute, I just didn't realize the time, but I'm helping this one person, and they're almost there at the levels, and then you feel like your time is going more, but you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, financial karma works in a lot of ways. I mean, I really want to, do good by everybody that I meet and offer value, and make an impact, make an income. Like I said, focus on making the impact, the income will come, and I know that when I, share information about specific aspects of what we have to offer, I think people feel that I'm being genuine. And then when they see the quality and then they use them, I think both of you have used my products. I'm not sure. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Very,
And
very high quality. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
so speaking from experience, game on.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Going back what you said, you got to be willing to give up something in order to get what you want.
Mhm.
And too many people are not willing to do that. I remember Gary Vaynerchuk, he talked about this, where he was in college and he would work while his fellow college classmates went out and partied at nighttime while he worked his business and everything like that.
Right.
And now they're working the 9-to-5 jobs, the menial jobs, and he's built something up.
Right.
And every single successful entrepreneur has done the same thing.
hmm
They focused, and they were disciplined in terms of their business, and they gave up all these other things. They gave up what's the so-called fun stuff. But to them, this is fun. I mean, the entrepreneurial lifestyle.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, I'm a homebody, and I really drill my business. I've been in the home-based business for 25 years. Haven't been full time for 25 years, but I've been full time for well over a decade. And it takes work, but I just work differently. When people see me ride my bike, in my community here where I live, they're like, "Don't you work?" I said, "Yes, I do. I work differently. Would you like to learn how?"
There you go. There you go.
So
I work so I can have those biking moments.
come again, Sofie, what'd you say?
You work to have those cycling moments, so you make time where you can balance your life out.
Yeah, and then a lot of people saw us trav heavily last year. I'm so happy that we got that in last year. We did Japan, we did Dubai,
Perfect timing.
we
did India,
we
we did Belgium, we did Amsterdam, and it was awesome.
Yes, yes. So
I saw you dressed and you were like so funny. I remember even sharing something on Laughter Mindset. You had like a very nice itinerary and lots of adventure in your travel, and it was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's nice.
We went to the Taj Mahal, and I wore the all the guards. Yeah, that's great.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yes.
your custom, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where's your next trip, Ian? Where are you planning to go when everything's
we really want to go, be at our home in Medellin, Colombia. We were supposed to go there a month ago, but that didn't happen. I'm happy it didn't happen, so I didn't get, deported back here. Just going there and getting sent back when all these changes were happening. I had a feeling that trip was not going to materialize, even though we had the tickets. But yeah, so Colombia would be the next place we'd like to go. Once this is really all cooled out, I mean, personally, I'm not worried about this physically, I have a lot of knowledge about how this works and how the body works, and not that I'm being ignorant, but it's good to be, on guard, but not in freak out mode that, I'm going to get it.
Yeah, and you're healthy and fit, and we know that
your immune system is good.
Yeah, what this virus does, especially with those people that are really unhealthy and have all these underlying diseases and such, and a lot of it comes from their lifestyle. I know that what you do in terms of helping people is to help to correct those things. But we see people out there and they become complacent in their life. Hence, they stayed in their complacent jobs instead of building their own business. But they also became complacent with their physical bodies as well, which is crazy. So I think both of them goes back to what we said before. It takes some focus and some discipline in terms of where you want to go, And even when you get a home-based business, it's important to also stay healthy. Did you find that true as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you see all these cases, I mean, there are people that are on the standard American diet. They're already immunosuppressed.
Yep.
So it's not surprised that Americans have the highest amount of cases. It's
Yep.
because we happen to be one of the unhealthiest countries, the most heart disease, the most cancer, the most type 2 diabetes. So it's not surprising. I don't need the
Mhm.
CDC to tell me, or this organization to tell me. It's just to look at the way people are taking care of themselves. They're walking around with maybe a third of immune system.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
I know that Sophie's original country of Jordan, I was looking at, they only had like 485 cases total, the whole
The whole
country.
country.
And yeah, so it's crazy, and 8 deaths, and that's it.
And they are on a major lockdown, literally. They can walk to get supplies, but they can't drive unless they are working at a hospital or.
In Jordan?
Because the nature of the people are very touchy and lovey. Like if you see anybody, they want to hug you right away.
Right.
If you, so because they know how they are, and it's
Yeah,
it
I mean,
spreads crazy.
I think the powers that be are trying to usher in a new agenda, and I don't think they're not getting as much success as they desire. There's a lot of politics going on. There's a lot of pharmaceutical industry interests that are happening. My wife and I recently have been watching the truth about vaccines and everything that goes
Yes.
on with the manufacturing of them and how unhealthy they are. I mean, listen, there's been tremendous contributions of Western medicine, with penicillin and various things. But today, one is more likely to get injured than supported. So you're born with an immune system. Take care of it, okay, and then you'll have a great immunity.
Yeah,
Amen.
we really need to get ourselves in shape in mind, body, and spirit, especially in this country. Which maybe this is a wake up call. Maybe this time
It
is
is.
a big opportunity.
If it's not a wake up call, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not a wake up call. It actually it's ringing, like the alarm is happening.
Yep.
Okay, so the thing is, people need to be prepared mentally first and foremost, and they need to, take care of themselves, and take care of their families. And the less CNN you watch, the better.
Yes.
Get up and get
So
this.
what is your? Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Sophie.
I wanted to know from your background, what is your anticipation? Because, like, for example, me and you both live here, and the governor and they're discussing reopening Florida, except of 2 counties, I think, or 3. But to like the restaurants, so long as they have a social distancing in them and stuff like that, and that they're looking at that happening next week. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm looking forward to businesses opening so they could really get back in the groove of things. I don't know how my wife and I are going to participate in going out again. So the new normal economically for most businesses that are used to this traffic, that's going to dramatically change. I mean, there's businesses that are not going to come back because, if you look at the social distancing of having 25 people at a time inside a place of business, and the capacity is 100 or more, I mean, the table turnover and their cash flow is not going to be what it needs to be to pay their bills. So there's going to be a bigger economic impact. Personally, there's places that I like to go locally that are healthy. We'll see how they open up again, but I'm just going to play it by ear.
Mm-hmm.
Make your food.
So
Make your food. Yeah. Sophie, you've been an expert in that since last fall, haven't you?
yes. Because when you're working from home, it's just always you have more time, and it's like it starts becoming like another different experience, and you enjoy it better. You're not like rushing or between appointments, or because I was doing two things all the time. I worked as a vacation consultant for Marriott, which is now Marriott with Starwood. And then I always did my coaching, but that's like in the evening. So the time was kind of always really packed,
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, oh, nice. I love this. This is really cool. And,
yeah, I mean,
Which,
it's like
yes, which gets me to another question, Ian. A lot of people have a social network that they were involved in at work. Once they leave that environment, and obviously it's happened in a massive scale now. So they had a certain social network. Yet, in order to be successful as an entrepreneur, and especially as a home-based business entrepreneur, your social network, number one, has to change, and number two, your mindset on who you would want to hang out with. Again, that is part of your social network, so that's going to have to shift. How did you deal with that early on, and what are your suggestions now for people regarding that area?
well, I really didn't. I mean, I had a social network of like, being physically with people, but when I hear social network, I think about social media. If people are going to be disembarking from the day-to-day of their 9-to-5 job, which most people have, everyone is already on social media. So I think that the social environment of people today is happening, and it continues to get bigger and bigger on Instagram and social media, on Facebook, and other platforms. I don't know if I'm answering your question the right way, but
No. So let me rephrase it. As an employee or as a regular person out there were certain people that we would associate with
mm-hmm.
on a regular basis.
Right.
Fellow employees and others, friends, and so forth. And I know in my case, the friends that I had earlier on in my life versus the friends that I associate with now are completely different, because I'm always looking in terms of who can challenge me to go higher and to be better, so I can become the better version of myself. So having that transition,
you're gonna actually elevate if you connect with someone like me, okay, and you come into my world versus go to your day-to-day, week-to-week, year-to-year, 9-to-5 job where hopefully you have a great relationship with your boss. If you don't, that really is going to lower your frequency. It's going to increase your anxiety. It's going to lower your immune system by going to a place that you really don't like going, even though it's putting the bread on the table to feed your family. So making a shift to becoming a home-based business entrepreneur in the new green economy, connecting with people like myself, not only me, is really going to help you become a more successful, happier human being.
Yes, and like with you, because you're now part of our association and being able to connect, and we learn off of each other, and then the synergy makes it that much more powerful. And I've seen that even with the people that I've connected with as I learn to scale up and find the higher level thinkers, and especially in the world of entrepreneurism, and then other worlds where I had to leave those other friends behind. So, and it seems like you've done the same thing, that maybe the friends you hung around with, maybe in high school or whatever, are not the same ones that you're doing now as
Right.
you grew towards that.
And there's an expression, if people don't enhance your life, they don't belong in it.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't. There's no room for you, because you're not really helping me get to the next level in life. So I've been through my share of vampires. No room.
Oh yeah, yep, yep, yep. I know, Sophie, you've had that experience too, as well.
I'm sure everyone has some kind of that kind of experience when, especially when you're mission driven and you're a servant of light and like to help others. There, not everybody you meet is with the same intentions or
Right.
ability. So sometimes their need could be toxic to your growth. Meanwhile, while you're in service, there is no discrimination. So you serve everybody the same way. But when it comes to your inner circle, then you have to be very protective and very selective
Mm-hmm.
on how you are exchanging your energies to each other and to the world,
Sure.
because you are now in leadership roles, and those leaders, they need to be at balance and grounded, and they need their mind to be focused, to be clear. There is no room for, ignorance and gossip and all the things that are not helping anyone, because they're focused on problem solving. They're focused on the problem and not solving the problem. So those kind of experiences deplete our shine and sparkle and focus and energy altogether. And we have to be very mindful if it's a repeated pattern. You see, I feel that we are human beings. We go through trials and tribulations. We go through challenges. We go through struggles. We go through, losses and griefs. And if we can't be there for each other, then what's the point? It's not about just me, getting to my next certification or my next level in life. It's just what we're seeing here is that not being there for others. You have to, it's something that, it's a character, by the way. So when you really have authentic integrity, as my friend Johnny Tan would say, when you have authentic integrity, you're gonna be that person. It's your character.
Mhm.
It's not a one-time role play that you're doing a show at. It's who you are all the time, on the streets, in business, at home,
Mm-hmm.
by the neighborhood. However, when there are people who haven't met you on the same mental levels and visions to what you need to do, and if you're called upon a calling and you were aware of what you need to do, you took the action, you took the responsibility. And along with big responsibilities, comes a lot of leadership roles. And you couldn't have been free like you are now, Anne, if you did not bust your ass off at one point, focus on your developing yourself, learning, growing, being by the right mentors, being around the right circles. This all impacted who you became today. But if you were not aware of being assertive and setting boundaries to toxicity, oh God, talk,
Toxicity.
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 Mm-hmm.
I just
There you
couldn't
go.
get it. Yes. Then guess what happens? It's like, okay, I have this cup and it has bleach, and I know it has bleach. And I saw the bleach go down, even if the other person didn't see it. Are you going to drink it? No. I mean, it's the same thing. If you start noticing certain people who are in their journey at a certain level, and you might not be the right fit because you might be enabling them when you're helping them, not challenging them. The same way, you got to be protective about your own energetic field, your
Mm-hmm.
own mind clarity, and your body. So whatever you can, because you can only have so much attention a day to certain things, you'll be depleted. And when you have a mission you're serving, it becomes a priority, and your time goes there more often than less. And because of that, you cannot entertain things that are very shallow in thinking, in behavior, in principles. And it's okay. People have to go through their stages, and we respect that. But those who are committed, who are ready, who want to grow, want to be better, for some reason they find each other. and they hold tight to one another because they know the value of each other. Or you can sit and have a pity party and complain and argue the whole day, and they screwed us, this happened. What are you going to
It
do
doesn't
about
work
it?
too well.
What are you going to do about it? What is the solution? So today, a solution is, when we meet with experts like Ian, is if you're having trouble and now you just lost a lot of things in your life, or you know of someone who maybe has that, in that they're in that area, then share this video with them and connect with somebody like Ian, who's an expert in his field. Take action to fix problems, so it's not something now guess what, instead of you talking about that, worrying about that, not sleeping over that, and concerned, now you're already taking steps towards a solution. Before you know it, now little things in the budget is getting better. Now your mindset feels more at ease, and now you're growing and you're contributing again. So don't let yourself not have this opportunity when it is presented, and if it speaks to you where you could want to learn more and you're curious and you want to have intellectual curiosity, then reach out and ask questions. Hey, I saw you on Wisdom Cafe show. You know what? You mentioned something, but I didn't understand much of it. What is it exactly that you do? Or, can you give me an idea? Like, I'm at this point in my life. Where could I be if I actually start doing business with your company and your team, for example? So take steps. Reach out to people. There's many people that, very nature, they want to help you, but you got to actually make that decision. You got to either say, okay, you know what, this is really bad. I don't know what, the world's going to go to an end. This is ridiculous. I can't believe I can't get out of my house yet. I just want to go party already. And you know what? It's just going to go down spiral, circle, worse and worse and worse. And by the way, people, they are expecting the flu, and this is not to be negative, but it's actually expected to get worse in the fall. Okay? So let's just be more awakened here. Let's be more prepared. Let's be able to be more grounded and balanced. So if something does happen worse than what we're seeing now, that there is backup plans and there's things that you are giving yourself a chance to visit, to learn, to prepare. Because you know what? It's bad, it could be worse, and it could be worse and worse and worse. Let's not get to that level of worsening, worse and worse and worse. So
Yeah.
I encourage you to always be open and see what resonates with you, and work with people who are aligned with your mission and your principles. But also start considering looking inward into your health. Because, I mean, like I said, if this pandemic did not open your eyes to change things in your lifestyle, and by the way, guys, let me tell you something. I am very astonished talking to some people, and very openly, because you have a good relation and they trust you, they feel comfortable. Nothing has changed in their food habits inside their homes. Nothing. We're eating junk food, we're doing this, we're doing that, even with a possibility of, at this time, I'm not saying that, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. We got to balance it out. I mean, you can't just go add and add more damage to more damage to more damage. Everything in your body is going to get deteriorated. And then now, if your heart is holding something, then your lungs is messed up, then your liver. Don't go further with it.
Yep.
Wake up. Really wake up. If
Agreed.
you have your own home, get filtered water. Like, why?
Right.
Invest in a good filter. You don't have to worry about plastic bottles anymore. And it's less expensive and it's less
Yep.
heavy to carry from the stores to your house. Why are you not doing simple, easy little baby things? And before you know it, it starts to feel better because you are infused with better energy. So you start thinking and seeing things in a better way. So those are the little things that you really need to start doing from inside out. Are we still
Yes.
brushing our teeth with fluoride toothpaste every day, for real? I mean, okay, maybe little baby steps like that. Start doing baby steps, and it's just going to get you better, more equipped, more immune, more prepared. And don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait when you're really out of gas to even think and you're really in a deep hole. And now you really don't know what to do. While you're still able to take steps, do baby steps, and reach out.
Yes, reach out to.
I'm sorry.
I know, I hear that, Sofie. So, yeah, get in touch with Ian, and I'm going to use 2 words: stimulus check. When I say stimulus check, check your mindset and get stimulated towards action for a better life.
100%. I can help you achieve that. Create your own stimulus check.
Yes. Yes.
I like our creative thinking here, guys. And in fact, in my upcoming book, Optimize Your Creative Mindset, I have a section, and it's actually in book 1 about mind stimulation, and it is really, really important. And you got to stimulate your thinking so that you can think on a higher level. And otherwise, you're not. You're too comfortable to what you're used to what you know, to the habits you're familiar with, and there's no growth in there. And you're gonna start getting stressed out. You're gonna start feeling tight, angry, and you just don't understand why. You know, and even if you go out with your friends and everything goes back on track, if this is not solved from a root place, and you gotta be prepared. Just think of being strong and grounded for at least another 6 months to 9 months to up to 18 months.
Totally.
You gotta think that way.
Right. It's not gonna be next week or next month.
It's not just like, oh, it's only a month or 2. I have a savings of 6 months, so I'm okay. But then now 6 months are gone. But guess what happened? Now we're in real trouble, and it's worse than the first time. And now you're really depleted because your savings is out as well, not just your loan availability. So that's what we're talking about right now. Yes.
Yes. So remember those 2 words: stimulus check, for the right reasons, not from.
Amen.
Yeah, which is really, really important. We're coming down towards the end, Ian, and we'd like to have some really additional insights on you, from you, regarding everything that a person's going to need to get themselves started into a more successful life. And Sofie, I know that you wanted to add in on this. What would you suggest adding in terms of
what would Ian leave, like three things, like takeaways for our audience that they can use, that are practical, that would help them in our pandemic right now, that with your expertise?
Better.
Yeah. First and foremost, take a break from mainstream media. That's number 1. Okay, because that's going to stress you out. That's going to create a lot of fear and anxiety, which is really going to deplete you. I'm not saying don't be informed. There's a lot of alternative news online that is more peaceful. I'm not saying that it's not going to shy away from the truth, but that's number 1. Mindset's really important. The mind-body connection, super important. And, take care of yourself. Fall in love with yourself in a completely different way. Okay, fall in love with yourself with the way you take care of yourself. The way I've seen, our household and the way we do dinners and lunches, they know that I'm like the healthy person influencing, but now I'm seeing my wife step into her leadership of really making amazing meals. So that's number 2. And then number 3.
So is your wife making meals for you guys, or is it a business?
No, it's not a business by any means.
I was wondering if people order, because
no, it's home.
He doesn't want that to happen.
No, that's a transactional income business. I'm not interested in that. But and then number 3, is like, have an open mind when someone like myself offers you this type of business or opportunity. Don't be ignorant, because it could literally change your life like it changed mine 25 years ago. Now, 25 years ago, I didn't go from 0 to making, a multiple 6-figure yearly income in 6 months or a year or 2 years or 3 years. It took some time, but it did happen. But, if you decide to become a home-based business entrepreneur, first and foremost, having an open mind will create the opportunity. Have a slightly open mind, you can make a little money. but having an incredibly open mind, like Moses parting the the Red Sea, you could really, really do well in this economy. The Great Depression, there's some of the greatest businesses were launched in the Great Depression, and they're still here today. So this isn't a recession, folks. This is going to be a very deep depression globally. Okay, and most people, if you see the stock market, it's all a smoke and a mirror. Okay, there's businesses that have been drastically decimated. Okay, the luxury brands, a lot of them are not going to come back. So really position yourself for the new economy, and the new economy is what happens the 6 inches between your 2 ears.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, you said something very important. You didn't do it like in 6 months or a year to get to where you need to. So think long term.
Yes.
Think long term.
Think long term and be coachable. Okay. And if you're being mentored, be open to thinking differently and follow the system. When you follow the system, you can become successful if you do what other successful people have achieved before you. That's all I've done, and I brought my personality and my charisma to the table, and I've kind of created, my life around that.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
those
Wonderful.
are good tips, especially absolutely.
And I'm going to add on top of that. You actually have a very good support system right next to you in your house.
I do.
Good teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork. Yep.
My wife has a completely different personality than me, and that's totally cool. But she has 2 engineering degrees. She's very cerebral. She's great where I'm not. So train your weaknesses. You already have your strength, but train your weaknesses. Become a better listener, which I've needed to, because of course women think a lot differently than men think. So I've become a better listener. So
yeah.
Preach
yes.
it, man, preach it.
Yes. You hit it right. Oh my gosh.
Selective listener, just listening to what you want.
Right.
Yes. That's well stated on that part. Yeah. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, Ian, we want to thank you for having been here, and a lot of great insights, and your amazing personality and everything. So wonderful. And
true, I agree.
Yeah.
I appreciate the both of you. I love the work that you do and what you bring to the table. You guys work off of each other wonderfully. And
thank you.
Let's do this like once a quarter and really see where we're at and help people get through this challenging time.
We definitely need that to happen. People need to, they need some kind of
the progress and the feedback. Yes, and also the audience. This way, they'll always be in touch and they'll be aware of what's happening, and then we can see the growth, and it is going to empower and encourage many to step out of their fear into their confidence and take action and be surrounded by strong leaders with good vision so that they can feel more safe as they are going through the process. So absolutely agree.
Cool.
Again, thank you, Ian. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to this episode. And Ian, before we go, how can people get in contact with you?
You could reach me on Facebook at Ian Farrar, or on Instagram at Ian.Farrar. That's IAN.FARRAR. Or I could give you my private business line, area code 914-393-9800. And if you want to email me, you can email me at ianfarrar68@gmail.com.
Good. And you're going to post that in the comments after we get off, correct?
Sure, I will.
Great. Yeah, fantastic. And again, thank you, everybody.
I had you on LinkedIn, and this doctor from Dubai already asked me, like, what is it about? So,
oh, really?
I don't know. He might have already known you from somewhere or something. So you'll be surprised how we are able to spread the word out and how all of us as a community, when we collaborate in assisting and supporting those who are on great missions to be able to help many, we all grow that way. And it's really beautiful. And we pray that all of you have this kind of support team and surround yourself with people who bring the best out of you so you can
Amen.
reach your best potential. And so you can be surrounded with wisdom and truly make sense of your actions. And it's going to feel better because it's making sense. It's going to mean different to you. And then guess what? You'll have your inner peace. And that's priceless. And that's from that space, you can operate at optimal levels. So stay healthy, be well, keep washing your hands, and,
Yes.
and don't listen to the news, and only be realistic, right? And just don't get overwhelmed with the negativity that will blur your vision to reality. And this way, you're not robbed of your infinite wisdom that is already within you when you're able to listen. And so the mind has to be quiet for it to be able to be aware. And that needs you to detach from negativity and all things that are not serving your highest good well. And blessings to all of you. We love you. Thank you for being part of our journey.
Thank you, everybody.
Allowing us to
Thank
be
you.
in yours. Mwah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.